Thanks everyone for listening into Account Showcase today. The idea here is to bring awareness to this industry about all the amazing, innovative, fun aspects of it and what you can do. Today, we have Jaclyn Badeau from, my God, just like that. What was the
Badeau
business?
Consulting. Badeau Consulting.
From Badeau Consulting, joins us today. Was a recently awarded 2021 Young CPA Award for bringing in creative ideas into the industry. So Jaclyn, thank you for taking time out to join me today. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, happy to be here and talking with you. And I would say, what do I do? I just first say I'm not your typical accountant. The stereotypes that you all may hear. There's really lots of myths around our profession. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. I actually have my own company, Badeau Consulting. And what I do is I'm all about employee engagement. So I help companies, I help firms really engage their employees. So I help develop that environment. Sometimes that includes coaching in the leadership space and speaking and doing trainings, leadership trainings, emotional intelligence trainings, and a lot of consulting to help those companies really develop their ideal culture. And so I love doing that. Of course, I work with a lot of CPAs, accounting, finance folks who are within firms or within companies to help do that. I do a lot within our CPA profession as well, at the ASCPA level, at the state level. I'm an adjunct professor. I teach a class on professional development. So it ties right into that's what I do, leadership and professional development. And so, yeah, I do a lot of different cool things, stuff in the community as well. So that's kind of my resume highlight, if you will. But that's exactly what I do now. I love doing it. I did start it right before the pandemic. So it's been kind of a challenging and exciting, all at the same time kind of road since that. But thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, no, I mean, when do you have time for fun? What does Jaclyn do for fun?
Oh my gosh, I love having fun. I'm all about, so if anyone knows me, so some of you may know me, I'm all about work-life integration.
Yes.
Because work, the typical old school way of work was 9 to 5. You sit in your chair and you can't do anything personal during that window. And you try to separate and cut off work from after 5 p.m. That's just not realistic. I think about it work-life integration. So I'm all about doing stuff that makes me happy. So what I do for my profession, I want to be happy. When I give back and volunteering for all that stuff, I want to be happy. I also want to do happy things with friends and family. Like last weekend, I literally just got back from a weekend in Nashville, hanging out for 2 days with some family, celebrating my mom's birthday, my aunt, my sister, and you got to do that. I'm going out to dinner with friends tomorrow, and you've got to work these things in to make you happy, self-care. I can go on for days. I love shopping. I like reading. I like going to the pool when it's actually warm. I like taking vacations. So all kinds of stuff. I'm also a big Cincinnati Bengals. So that team, I'm coming to you from Kentucky. That team's about an hour up the road. We have season tickets. So I like NFL. College basketball. I love University of Kentucky college basketball. That's my team. So I'm big into March Madness. So yeah, lots of things, friends, families, self-care, massages, reading, vacations, sports. Love it all. But work-life integration, that is the term you gotta get your mindset to, and then figure out what makes you happy. Then you make it work.
Yes. I love it. Yeah, go with the flow. Yeah, if you want to work,
Yeah.
work. If you want to do something that's enjoyable, that's not work related. You don't have to have everything so structured. Unless it's a climbing, so structured and standardized, and just I love it because what you just showed right there is that you're busy. You're a very busy lady, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine, but you're still enjoying life and still going about it. And that's the industry that we're in. It's not like we need to move away from that season, non-season, year round. We're all busy. We get it. But when you have a good balance and you're having fun, spot on. It doesn't seem that busy.
No,
Um,
you're exactly right. That's why I say integration versus balance. And that whole busy, the concept of the old school mentality is, if I'm busy, like we would used to wear like the badge of honor, right? Oh, I worked 100 hours this week, and it was like all the way through the year. Oh, I'm so cool. You know what? That is gone. That mentality is gone. It's all about how to integrate. But you got to start with number one. If you don't know what makes you happy, you got to do a little work. You got to do a little self work, understand those things, and then you got to integrate that into your life. So integrate it the right balance and the right amount of hours of work and community and family and friends and all those other things that make you happy. That's what I'm all about. Now, it took me years, it is some self-learning, of course, to really understand that and own I'm big on owning your career. But that's some advice I'd have to.
no, it's spot on in that approach, because when when you're trying to build a team, when you're trying to run a firm, you're trying to implement a new process, but you're also trying to manage personal life. You're able to balance everything if you go about it with an open mind. And I think the accounting profession has had the opportunity with being pushed into this virtual remote environment to think outside the box and realize. And I've worked with a lot of clients who are just a little annoyed towards working with their clients and trying to figure out, wait, do I really want this type of client, and able to kind of top grade. And that's never been an opportunity at all in this industry. And so it's all about your local team and yourself, and how to actually reduce this. I've never seen that happen more now than ever.
Yeah.
What would you like to share as far as an expert tip, as far as with our audience today in regards to what you do?
Oh my goodness, I have a list long of expert tips on what I do.
Wonderful.
Obviously, I just already gave you one about making sure you know what makes you happy. Like literally, that's the first step when I have a coachee is what makes you happy. That's everything in life, not just lots of people go right into, oh, well, I would like to just travel the world 24/7. Okay, well, that's cool too, but you probably have to have money to do that. So what
Yeah.
makes you happy? What are the things you've got to really get under those layers? And so I work with a lot of coaches to establish that foundation. Then it's like the sky is the limit. Once you found those things and you start doing small steps every day, that's probably another tip. When we set goals and we think about things to do, whether it's professional, whether it's in the personal space, we try to have these like astronomical goals of I'm going to do all of this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And really, it's all about taking small steps, because those small steps lead to really big changes, or like what I say is big journeys, right? So taking small steps, breaking things into actionable items. You were talking about how the pandemic has really provided our profession. So the flip side of a lot of the bad that's come out of the pandemic, the good side of that is it's given our profession the opportunity to change and adapt to macro and world expectations and expectations of what the worker really wants, and remote working or dealing with remote teams. And, you said a lot of your clients are struggling. Some of you got to think about it. Another tip, you got to think about it like, you're building relationships. You want relationships with people, with your clients, with your team. So building the relationships and really getting to know people, you don't necessarily have to all be in the same room together. That philosophy, that's like kind of like what I would call that old school mindset. And that is actually part of our profession that's changing, and that needs a change, because that is what generations like millennials have been talking about, what our Gen Zers, these are what is required. And I know kind of like how I grew up in the profession, perhaps that wasn't the mentality, but we are at a different stage of life in the game, if you will. And so I think about it like build relationships. If you really build relationships with your people, no matter if you're outsourcing, no matter if your team is all in the same room or from their living room, or it doesn't matter. The core with any person is they want to feel heard and understood, And to do that, you got to listen, you got to get to know them, you got to build that relationship with them. And then you start getting into, okay, business decisions of what that means. But if you can get to the core of really developing a team that each person can feel appreciated and understood and heard, and they know that, Chris cares about me, we're building this relationships, that's what matters. And so I think we have a lot of opportunity in our profession to grasp onto those type of concepts. I work with a lot of firms and companies to help build that ideal culture that they want. And this is where companies and firms who really want longevity in the profession, and they really want their employees to thrive and to stay and to come, to like come to their firm or in the first place and to stay. These are the things that are prioritized. And it's not, well, we've always been in the office, so we must have brick and mortar. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on your ideal culture. But at the fundamental, it's all about building relationships and thinking of people, of what do they want? Not what I want, but you got to think of each person as an individual. So anyway, I wrapped up like 10 tips in there, Chris. I hope that was good.
That's really fun. I was like, great. Wow. That was a well-rounded answer, because it's all about building relationships, and it's about investing in your people, investing in your staff. And so I totally agree with that, wherever they are, and it's opened up the mind, and it's where we are here today. And to be an accountant's cool, to work with accountants is even better. So Jaclyn, yes, thank you for the one free tip. No, just thanks for coming on today and providing this insight, because I don't think a lot of people realize, how much fun it actually is. This is year round. This is in an industry that is just ripe for innovation and to really expand into different levels of customer service delivery too, because clients are expecting more nowadays. So I appreciate you sharing your insight today.
Yes, thanks, Carissa. I get very passionate and excited, and that's why a lot of tips come out, because I do so much work in our professional space. I'm like, I have another platform. Let me get out all the cool stuff you can do being a CPA. But I really do think that as a CPA, for anyone who's wondering what you can do, there's lots of insights you can gather from people like me and other leaders in our profession. I've taken over our CPA Instagram account just a few weeks ago, so feel free to check that out. But you can do a lot of different things. At the end of the day, we're problem solvers, we're creative thinkers, we're relationship builders. That is what we do. We like to help people. So that is my last piece of advice for you, Chris.
Fair enough. Again, thanks a lot for taking time out. It's always a joy speaking with you. I wish I had another 2 more hours to talk, but that was a fast 30 minutes now. But again, thanks for your time. Take care.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.